Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how we do things here.
Yeah.
We take your biggest sales challenges and we kind of deep dive into them.
That's right.
And today's no different. We're tackling a classic one that I know has probably made every single person listening cringe at some point.
Oh, yeah.
The dreaded, I'm not ready objection. Picture this. You're in a sales meeting, things are going great, you're vibing with the client.
Looks good, yeah.
You're about to close the deal, and then, blam, it hits you right between the eyes. I'm not ready. For our learners out there, especially those who are newer to sales or maybe just having a tough time with this specific objection, I know it can be really deflating.
Totally. Because you've put in all this prep work, you've researched, you've practiced your pitch.
Yeah.
And it feels like a dead end.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be a dead end. What if I told you that I'm not ready is actually an opportunity in disguise, a chance to turn things around?
I'd say you're absolutely right, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not ready is just masking something else. There's a deeper concern there that the client isn't voicing directly.
And that's what we're going to uncover today, right? We're going beyond those surface level tips and tricks. We're arming you with a 5-step framework, a tactical approach to not just overcome this objection, but use it to your advantage to actually close more deals.
Because when you understand the psychology behind it, the I'm not ready objection becomes less of a roadblock and more like a detour that leads you right to where you need to be.
Love that analogy. So let's break it down step by step.
Yeah.
Step 1 is all about acknowledging and validating. Before we can even begin to address the objection itself, we need to meet the client where they are emotionally.
Yeah, it's about genuine empathy, not just saying, oh, I understand, I'm moving on. You really want to show the client that you hear them, that you respect their hesitation.
Right, like let's say you're selling a new project management software, and the client says, I'm not ready to make a switch. We're pretty happy with what we're using now. How could we acknowledge and validate that?
You could say something like, I totally get that. It can be tough to switch systems, especially when you're already comfortable with something. A lot of our clients felt the same way initially.
That's a good one. Now, to keep that conversation flowing smoothly, to really make that connection, we've got to be careful not to make the client feel pressured.
For sure. It's about giving them a sense of control, right? Instead of just launching into your counter-argument, ask for permission to explore their hesitation further. You could say, would it be all right if we took a few minutes to unpack what's making you feel not quite ready? I really want to make sure we find the best solution for you.
Yeah, I like that. It's collaborative, not confrontational. Which leads us perfectly into step 2. Diagnose the real concern. This is where we put on our detective hats.
It is. It is. Open-ended questions are your best friends here. You want to dig deep and figure out what's really behind the I'm not ready.
So what are some good examples of open-ended questions we could use?
Well, going back to our software example, you could ask something like, what specifically about switching to a new system makes you feel hesitant? Or maybe, what would being ready look like for you in this situation?
I really like that second one. It's a great way to uncover their ideal scenario. Another one I like to use is it the cost, the implementation timeline, the features, or something else entirely? Giving them some options can help them articulate what they're feeling.
Exactly. And remember, active listening is crucial here. Take notes, nod, make eye contact, and most importantly, paraphrase their concerns back to them. Something like, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you're mainly concerned about the potential disruption to your team's workflow during the transition.
It shows you're not just hearing them, you're really listening and taking their concerns seriously. All right, we've acknowledged, we've diagnosed. Now it's time for step 3. Address those specific roadblocks. This is where the real work begins.
It is. And this is where being prepared really pays off. You need to have answers, solutions, ready to go for each of the common objections.
So let's break down some of those common roadblocks and how we can address them. First up, budget. It's a classic.
Of course. And instead of just saying, oh, it's a great investment, quantify the ROI. Give them concrete examples. Like, we recently worked with a company in your industry, and they saw a 15% increase in productivity within 6 months of implementing our solution. That translates to roughly X dollars in savings.
Hard numbers. That's what people want to hear. Now, what about something like implementation? Maybe they're worried about the complexity, the time commitment, the potential disruption to their workflow.
If that's the case, break down the onboarding process for them. Reassure them that it's not as daunting as they might think. You could say, we have a dedicated onboarding team that will be with you every step of the way. Plus, we have tons of resources, tutorials, and FAQs available online 24/7.
Yeah, make it sound manageable, right? But what if the roadblock is timing? They love the product, they see the value, but it's just not the right time for them. What do we do then?
That's when you highlight the opportunity cost of waiting. You could say something like, I understand that timing is important, but think about the potential losses you might incur by delaying. Every month you wait is another X amount of potential revenue or efficiency gains missed.
Ooh, that's good. It reframes the situation and makes them think about the bigger picture. Okay, we've addressed their concerns head on. We've provided solutions. Time for step 4, present a modified solution. This shows flexibility, a willingness to work with them.
It does. Maybe they're not ready for the full-blown package, right? So offer a smaller initial commitment, like a pilot program. You could say, how about we start with a trial run in one department? This will give you a chance to see the benefits firsthand with minimal risk and disruption.
I love that. It's a low-pressure way to get their foot in the door. What about if they're overwhelmed by the scope of the project? The implementation just seems too big and complex.
Then you could suggest a phased implementation plan. Break it down into smaller, more manageable stages. Say, we can start with phase 1, which focuses on X. Once that's up and running smoothly, we'll move on to phase 2, and so on. It's all about creating a roadmap that works for them.
Brilliant. Okay, we're almost there. Step 5 is all about securing a clear next step. This is key. We don't want to end the conversation without a concrete plan of action.
Absolutely not. No vague promises or loose ends. Be specific. Instead of saying, I'll give you a call next week, suggest a concrete action. Based on our conversation, how about we schedule a follow-up meeting on Tuesday at 10 a.m. to discuss the details of a pilot program for your sales team?
Yes. Or if they need more time to think things over, you could say, would it be okay if I send you a detailed proposal outlining the phased implementation plan we discussed? That way, you'll have everything in writing to review at your convenience.
Perfect. And remember, always follow up promptly and professionally. Send a recap email summarizing the key points, outlining the next steps, and reiterating your commitment to finding the best solution for them.
All right, so let's recap our 5-step framework for tackling the I'm not ready objection. Acknowledge and validate, diagnose the real concern, address specific roadblocks, present a modified solution, and secure a clear next step.
Remember, folks, it's not about being pushy or using slick sales tactics. It's about building trust, understanding your client's needs, and creating a win-win solution.
And that leads me to a final thought for you to ponder. What other seemingly negative responses, those curveballs that clients throw at us, might actually be opportunities to deepen the conversation and strengthen those relationships? Sometimes, the best deals come from those moments where we slow down, listen deeply, and work collaboratively to find the perfect fit.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about turning those challenges into opportunities for growth.
And that's what we're all about here, right? So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep closing those deals.
See you then.
Bye, everyone.